If the world's richest man woke up one morning and decided to divide his entire fortune among every human on Earth, how much money would land in your hands? If he chose to spend without limits, how many countries could he buy? How many cities could he own? How many empires could he control? What if he wanted to disappear from the world forever? Could money make him completely untouchable? And what does a man do when he has more money than the GDP of some nations? The answers to all these questions are hidden inside this video. So, let's begin. The story of unimaginable wealth does not begin with gold or palaces or private islands. It begins with the man who once slept on office floors, risked bankruptcy multiple times, and walked closer to failure than success again and again. Today, the name alone moves markets. A single sentence from him can shake stock exchanges, and his estimated wealth has crossed hundreds of billions of dollars at different points in history. Now, pause for a second. If this fortune were divided among the world's population, over 8 billion people, each person would receive tens of dollars instantly without doing anything. Not life-changing for the world, but a reminder of how concentrated power truly is. Because his real power is not only in cash, his real power is in ownership. He does not just own money. He owns companies that shape the future of humanity. One of them builds electric vehicles that have challenged the entire fossil fuel industry. Another sends rockets into space and lands them back on Earth like science fiction. Another connects human brains to machines. Another digs tunnels beneath cities to fight traffic. Another controls satellites that beam internet across the planet. These are not just businesses. These are pieces of the future, already in his pocket. But with power comes paranoia. His life is guarded by layered security systems, private security teams, encrypted communication, constant monitoring, armored vehicles, unknown travel routes, no public schedule in advance. Because when your wealth reaches such a level, danger no longer looks like a thief, it looks like an international threat. And yet, his lifestyle is not what people expect. No golden palaces on every continent, no fleets of luxury yachts parked in every ocean. At one point, he even sold his mansions and lived in a small rented home near his workplace. But don't be fooled by simplicity, because behind that simple life hides the ability to buy almost anything on Earth. If he wanted to, he could buy entire private islands, buy controlling shares in global banks, acquire media empires, purchase airlines, shipping companies, and global logistics networks, fund armies of engineers stronger than the workforce of small nations, and still, his empire would barely feel the impact. Now comes the strange part. With all this power, all this wealth, and all this control, his greatest obsession is not money. It is the survival of humanity. Mars is not a dream for him. It is a backup plan. While the world fights over land on Earth, he is quietly preparing to build cities on another planet. And that changes everything. Because now, we are no longer talking about a businessman. We are talking about a man who is trying to rewrite the destiny of our species. But wealth at this level comes with an invisible price. Isolation, enemies you will never see, pressure that never sleeps, decisions that can crash economies or create trillion-dollar industries overnight. And as you stand higher, the smaller the world beneath you looks. His wealth is not stored in stacks of cash or hidden vaults. It lives inside companies, inside shares, inside power that rises and falls with every second of the global market. The first empire is built on electric fire. Millions of vehicles moving silently across roads, powered not by fuel, but by the future. Every factory inside this empire is a giant machine printing money through innovation. Each new model shifts the direction of the entire automobile industry. But the real gold mine does not stay on Earth. Above our heads, in silent orbit, thousands of satellites move like invisible soldiers. They form a network that can provide internet to the most remote corners of the planet, from deserts to mountains, from frozen lands to war zones. This network creates a new kind of global control, communication without borders. And then comes space. Rockets that once exploded now land upright. Cargo ships fly into the sky and return like disciplined beasts. Governments that once spent decades developing space programs now buy launches from one private company. Every successful launch multiplies influence. Every failed launch teaches lessons worth billions. Then there is the most dangerous experiment of all. The human brain. A company working on placing microchips into living minds, connecting neurons to machines, blurring the line between man and technology. If successful, paralysis could end, blindness could be reversed, memory loss could be repaired. But the same technology could also give birth to a new form of control. And control is the true currency of the future. Now, let's talk about his personal assets. He owns private jets that can cross continents without pause. He travels without public schedules. His routes change at the last moment. Even his pilots often receive destinations in the air. His security is layered in silence. Armed protection you never see. Vehicles reinforced against explosives. Encrypted phones. Private intelligence teams working in the background. Digital shadows watching every movement of information around him. At this level of wealth, danger does not come with noise. It comes quietly. His homes are not castles of gold. They are strategic locations. Minimal design, high surveillance, hidden escape routes, underground safe rooms. Because when you command industries that shape nations, you do not live like ordinary people. You live like a moving target. Now, let's talk about the machine behind the money. His daily net worth can rise or fall by billions in a single sunrise. A tweet can create or erase fortunes for millions. A single business decision can crash stocks in distant countries. Entire markets pause when he speaks. This is not business anymore. This is economic gravity. Banks follow his moves. Investors mirror his choices. Governments negotiate with him not as a citizen, but as a force. And still, he operates like a man racing against time. Because in his mind, Earth is fragile, civilization is temporary, and survival requires escape plans. That is why Mars is not just a dream, it is insurance. Cities on another planet, life beyond Earth. A future where humanity does not die with one disaster. Now understand this carefully. His true wealth is not measured in dollars. It is measured in leverage. the ability to change industries, the power to bend governments, the influence to guide where humanity goes next. And when a man reaches this level, money becomes a weapon, but vision becomes destiny. And the question now grows darker. If he wanted to turn this wealth into absolute control, if he decided to buy power instead of innovation, if he chose influence instead of progress, what exactly could he purchase? Cities? Governments? Entire countries? Global media? Private armies? That answer lies ahead. Now imagine this. One ordinary morning, the world wakes up to a breaking headline. He has decided to spend without limits. No investments, no slow strategies, no long planning, just buying. In one single day, he could legally purchase entire private islands in the Caribbean, the Pacific, the Atlantic. Not one, not two, but dozens. Islands with private airstrips, islands with underground bunkers, islands that never appear on any public map. With a few signatures, he could buy controlling shares in some of the largest media companies on Earth. What people see, what people hear, what people believe. All of it could shift with one financial move. He could buy global shipping lines that move food, fuel, weapons, and goods across continents. He could buy mining companies that control lithium, cobalt, rare earth metals, the real treasure of the modern world. He could buy energy grids. He could buy data centers that store the digital memories of humanity. And the most frightening part? He would not need to buy countries directly. He could buy their debt, because many nations survive by borrowing, and the one who owns the debt quietly holds the leash. Now return to the first question. If he divided all his wealth among every human on earth, every man, woman, and child would receive only a small amount, enough for a few meals, enough for a few days. And yet that same money, when held by one man, can bend global markets. This is the illusion of numbers. Small for billions, terrifying when concentrated in one hand. But here is the twist. He does not chase global domination through money. He chases something far more dangerous: the future. His greatest luxury is not houses, not jets, not power. It is experimentation without limits. He can fail where governments cannot. He can take risks where nations hesitate. He can burn billions in one night and begin again the next morning, because his vision is not measured in years. It is measured in centuries. While the world argues over borders, he plans beyond the planet. While others collect wealth for comfort, he collects it as fuel for escape. Mars is not a fantasy to him. It is a backup hard drive for humanity. And that makes his wealth different from every billionaire before him. Kings used gold for war. Tycoons used it for empires. He uses it to rewrite survival itself. Now let's speak the truth nobody likes to admit. At this level of wealth, loneliness becomes permanent. Trust becomes impossible. Every friendship becomes questionable. Every smile carries a price. Every alliance hides a calculation. Security never sleeps. Danger never rests. And peace is always temporary. When a man becomes this powerful, he no longer belongs to the world. The world belongs to him. And yet, even with all this power, he cannot buy one thing: time. Because no matter how rich you become, the clock treats everyone the same. And all empires, whether built of stone, steel, code, or fire, eventually face the same ending. So the real question is no longer, what can he buy? The real question is, what will remain when even his money cannot fight what is coming? Because in the end, the most terrifying truth is this: when one man holds the power to shape the future of an entire species, the fate of billions quietly follows the choices of one mind. And the world can only watch.